Well, here we go with the second review of the night and the fourth whiskey that I've had tonight. I was at a liquor store that I had not been to in a long time, and I found the Macallan Gold, which was kind of an afterthought, and the other two that I picked up was the Glencairn 10-year-old. My curiosity was heightened because I had never seen this on the shelf before, and I got to taste it, or I got an opportunity to buy it, and I tasted it just a short time ago. And the other thing, I was intrigued last summer with a whiskey that showed up on the shelf at the government liquor store, and it looked interesting, so right away, even though there was no age statement, I went for it. It was the Glenglassaugh Torfa, and that one blew me away. The flavor was intense, it was powerful, it was just delicious. As I recall, that one disappeared. It didn't take long for it to disappear because it was like a go-to. I always went to it. I always went for it. That was the Glenglassaugh Torfa, which was a peated Glenglassaugh. It's a Highland single malt. This is another version. This is the Revival, the Glenglassaugh Revival. It is bottled at 40%, 46% alcohol by volume. I forget how much the Torfa was. Was it 46 or 48, something like that? And there's a great big thing to read on here, so I'm going to do the swap of glasses and let you know what it says. Is it poetry or marketing hype, or is it something else? Glenglassaugh Distillery, standing on the Moray Firth coast at the edge of Sandend Bay, is a distillery which lay silent and forgotten for over 2 decades. Its heritage stretches back to 1875, and the distinctive fruity character of its whiskey is loved by all who discover it. After being mothballed for over 20 years, production was restarted in 2008. That's why there's no age statement on it. It's still quite young, unless you find one that's older than that, from before it was mothballed for 20 years, I guess. Okay, getting back to what it says. Restarted in 2008. The first whiskey from the refurbished distillery is now available to single malt Scotch whiskey lovers everywhere. Glenglassaugh Revival is a distinctive Highland single malt Scotch whiskey produced using only the finest ingredients and bottled without the use of added coloring and without chill filtration. Yeehaw! As it should be. Color copper. Okay, well, I'm going to leave the nose and palate for now. I'm not going to read them. I don't like when they put nose and palate on there. I like to discover for myself what I'm getting. And here's a great hefty bottle of Glenglassaugh Revival. Nothing left in there. And it looks nice. And this is unchill filtered and natural color. Wow, I'm guessing there's probably some sherry in there. Based on what I tried of the Glenglassaugh so far, I'm already a fan. And this is their Revival whiskey. So, what is it, 7 or 8 years old maybe? I'm guessing. Okay. Oh. I like it now that whiskey's becoming popular. There are all these old distilleries that are coming back on stream, And there's a bunch of new distilleries starting, particularly in my region here where I live. A lot of Canadian single malts coming onto the pipeline, as it were. This is an exciting time to be learning about and enjoying whiskey, just because things are available and becoming increasingly available all the time, but that also comes at a price. Some of them have increased in price by leaps and bounds lately. Did I mention that I bought a bottle of Glenfarclas 15 about 8 or 9 months ago for $100, and I saw it for sale yesterday for $149. So that's like, a 50% increase in no time at all. Speaking of price, this Glenglassaugh Revival is $86.99 plus tax. And the tax is about $38, so add $13 or so to the $86.99, so $87, an even $100. That's what it costs to get this Glenglassaugh Revival. Well, I think we have used up all the whiskeys that are on this bill. So we can get rid of that. Or we've tasted them all. Or we're about to taste this one. On the nose. Don't know yet. I think it needs to open up a tad. Come on, open up. 46% alcohol by volume, non-chill filtered. Okay. Oh. Toffee caramel. There's something else too. It's a little bit like plasticine, like clay. It's a little bit earthy, like the ground. Like clay, like rock flour, like glacial deposits. Now there's more of that caramel and more of that toffee and a little bit of vanilla creeping in there. But there's something else. I imagine a thick, viscous mouthfeel based on the nose. I absolutely loved the toffee. Will this be as good? I don't know. Let's find out. Yeah. Heavy, powerful toffee caramel, vanilla. Oh yes. Oh. It has a rather slippery alkaline kind of mouthfeel, but thick. I sort of expected that. Oh, I'm still getting some of that caramel candy even after a while, after I've tasted it. Let's go for another sip. Mmm. Viscous. Caramel. And there's a note that reminds me of fresh inner tubes. Like for a bicycle inner tube, when you first take it out of the box, and there's like a powdery coating on it. It tastes a little bit like what that smells like, if that makes any sense. It's got a thick mouthfeel. It's like it's a little bit dry. It's a thick mouthfeel, but then it comes out kind of dry. It's got a lot of that toffee vanilla, but I don't know what it is else that I'm getting. Could it be an earthy thing from dunnage warehouses? Tastes very earthy, very, what was like clay on the nose. And wait, there's brown sugar too. Oh, that took a little while to come out. Maybe the other thing that I'm getting is a hint of milk chocolate. Very interesting. I would love to see what happens to this as it oxidizes a bit, because it's quite young. It can't be more than 8 years old. What does it say on here? Glenglassaugh Highland single malt Scotch whiskey, established 1875. Product of Scotland. Oh yeah, okay. Here was the tasting notes in that. That's the part that I ignored. Let's see if I agree with them. Color is copper. Okay. Nose. Sweet caramel and toffee with notes of nutty sherry, milk chocolate, and honey. Ripe plums, red berries, and oranges. Well, you know what? There is something covering up a lot of those flavors. And I think this has to open up some more to get all of it. I did get the chocolate. Honey, plums, and berries. I don't know. I seem to be kind of numb to the fruitiness of this. I don't know why. Caramelized sugar. Okay. Brown sugar. And here, earthy charred oak. Okay, I got the earthiness, definitely. Palate. Sweet, rounded, and creamy. Okay, so my thickness is their creaminess. Oranges, plums, cherries, walnuts, chocolate. Okay. Honey mead, sherry, and soft spice oak. Wow. Finish. Medium with warming mulled wine spices, sherry, and caramel. Okay. I think, according to my palate, they were a little bit more poetic than they had to be. But I guess that's what sells whiskey. Okay, I can get some of the plum on there. It's still lingering. There's definitely a certain complexity to it, and a bit of dryness on the sides. And yeah, now I get the plum. Isn't that funny how that works? When you're trying so hard to taste something that you just get right past it and don't notice it. I don't get so much citrus, but I do get a lot of caramel. And yeah, some brown sugar. Interesting little dram. Like I said, it will be fun to see how it changes as it opens up and oxidizes, because it should, because it's quite young. Anyways, on that note, sláinte to all, and have yourselves a very good night, afternoon, evening, morning, whatever the case may be.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food quick.
Yeah.